I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail him high, hail the black king, born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy, who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time, them a try. Them Romans, though them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I and I strive, see sufferation, I and I still rise. That's why we tell them, in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them, in a Toronto, straight at Eagle.
Thanks. And then after that apology, tell us some of the other concessions, victories that were won as part of the initial settlement. And I say initial settlement.
Right. So after the apology, we still had to agitate, and pressure again, Every stage of the game, you can't ease up, So we had to agitate now for the survivors to get their compensation.
Okay.
Right? And in 2019 was when the government set up a trust fund and because the public defender report recommended that at least $12 million should be given in to be put in a trust for the benefit of the survivors. But we said 12 million is a drop in the bucket, and that is an insult, in fact. So each time
translate that to US for the US.
Oh dear, 12 million Jamaican.
Yeah,
at that time,
they think
at that time,
money.
because now we have I can't even translate that. That wouldn't even be 300,000, somewhere between 300,000 and $5.5 million US. Not even, I don't even, but it was just simply ridiculous.
Yes.
So every time we complain about that amount, the public defender would remind us that by that time now a new public defender came in, Arlene Harrison Henry. Yes. She would remind us that she said at least. She didn't say 12 million, she said at least. So, but the government wanted to stick to that 12 million, and we said no way. And we continued our agitation, we continued our pressure until
how many survivors, just to be clear, how many survivors?
20 plus, close to 30 at the time.
So there was 30 to divide up less than $1 million US, or less than $500,000 US.
Yes, that was a ridiculous amount.
To show the disrespect for kind of positioning, because these are just little Rasta people.
Yes, and they're going to be glad for when they hear millions, they're going to be glad about that.
Yes.
But just to point out, though, Rasquasi, that 30 is not really the true amount, the true number of persons who are survivors, because you had many persons who are survivors, but they refused to even accept anything from the government.
Okay.
They wanted they wanted nothing to do with the government.
Okay.
So they refused to even participate in all of that, But there were 30 persons who were interested and willing and gave their names, gave their statements, roughly, to benefit from the trust.
Okay. And so that 12 million Jamaican goes into the trust. What was the next step?
Well, it was announced, but we refused to accept it. We said no way. And then the government, at one point now, we got a call from the newspapers saying that, how do we react to the government announcement of $102 million going in a trust? Now, we have been negotiating with the government, and we were not called or told anything about it. It is the news that, the news, it is the news people who are going to call us and asking us for a reaction.
Yes.
So, my first reaction, of course, is that because the survivors were always saying that they want their cash money, they don't want anything to go in their trust. In fact, one of the survivors said, "In God we trust, man must pay cash." That was his summary of the whole idea of a trust fund.
Yes.
However, so that's my reaction. That anyway, we called a community meeting with survivors and the rest of the community at the Nyabingi Center, and we discussed it with the matter, because we took note of the fact that most of the survivors are old and dying. Because even when at each stage, each year a couple die and so on. So we say it makes sense to accept the 102 million that was offered at that time to be put in a trust, and continue our agitation for community reparations. So we accepted it, and in 2019, the trust fund was set up with the Administrator General's Department. And at first it was 78 million that was put in. And up to last year, because up to last year 112 million was put into the trust fund. Right.
Okay.
So that is what was put in so far.
So how does that work in terms of disbursement? Are the survivors now getting cash payments, or how does that work?
Yes. So what they get is a monthly disbursement of starting with $100,000 when they first started.
Yes.
So that is going on, that they get it directly in their bank accounts, or the bank accounts that were named by them, because the appropriate documents were signed with the Administrator General's Department.
Okay. Give thanks for that. And then I understand that, or I understand that there was a home for the elderly.
Yes, we requested that, and because we have survivors who have no caregivers, Rastafari already, and they're not recognized by their family members. Sometimes when you visit them wherever they are, even if they are with family members, they would be put in some part in the back, in the corner, a little hut, and left there, not properly taken care of. So we recognize that we need to take care of some of them. Some of them have good family members who do take care of them properly. But those who do not have caregivers, we agitated for the government to help us to set up an elder care facility, which we opened in 2021, I think. Yes.
Okay.
Right, because there was a intervening period of the pandemic that made it difficult for us.
And how was that building funded? Was that funded out of the trust, or was that
no? It is separate. It is the expenses are borne by the Ministry of Culture.
Okay.
So every month we have to send in the expenses that have been that we have spent for the month, and they give us, like, on a quarterly basis, more or less, the expenses to cover staff, rental, food, that kind of thing.
And this is very important. We have 18 people watching live. I know hundreds more will watch it as it's up on the channel. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. We have here Sister Nanny, former secretary of the Rastafari Coral Garden Benevolent Society, the co-chair of the RMO. We're going to talk about the RMO briefly. We're going to continue to talk about the Rastafari Coral Garden Benevolent Society. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please take the time right now and subscribe to the channel. This is a movement. We're talking about the development of Rastafari, the uprising of this mighty people. If we follow Babylon news or we just go online and see the bloggers, then we feel like Rastafari not doing nothing. But there is a lot of work happening. We're hearing it right now from another frontline worker, and these are important victories, although they may not be the ideal. We know that we would love to get billions from the government to be able to cover a lot of development. But the fact that a trust fund was set up, 112 million Jamaican, is a victory, family. The fact that we have an elder care facility that is assisting those survivors that they can have some dignity is a victory. We still have a long way to go, and that is where we're going to take the conversation. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and we are going further to speak about what are the current challenges, because you talked about community reparation. What are the goals now of the Coral Garden Benevolent Society following these victories for the survivors? Still not the ideal, but still moving forward. What are the goals and objectives now?
Yes, well, in the 13-point list of recommendations that we had submitted in 2016 to the government,
yes,
most of them apply to the community. Only about 3 apply to survivors in terms of, and the apology was one, the cash compensation to survivors, and also free health care, right?
Okay.
All right. So we got the elder care facility in, and the survivors are receiving their cash compensation, and the most of their others now have to do with the community.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about embrace many. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, well, through the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love, and even when the people start ball, 'cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love, and even when the people start ball, 'cause they see their city streets them flow.